Okay. So today we'll see the practical components. So how the pages we can able to see practically, in the sense how many pages are processed, how many pages for each and every database when you take the database or when you perform any kind of activities. So we can't touch the pages, we can't disturb the pages. Okay. So let's move on to this. Okay, and we'll see this also. Database creation we have already seen, we have done. So how to attach and detach the databases, that I will show you once again, and how to sync the files. Okay, how to sync the log files, how to sync the if the log file is increased, so we can able to see. So if this is the command, DBCC means database consistency check. DBCC means database consistency check. We have some couple of DBCC commands are there. So if you want to see how many number of VLFs for each database. So for example, let's consider this master database. If you execute DBCC space log info means log file architecture information, log information. It will show all how many number of virtual log files for that database. If I execute this, it will show 8. If it is showing count 8 means 8 different virtual log files. 8 virtual files are there for this database. If I change database to my own database DB2 and execute it. So here how many VLFs are there? 4 VLFs are there. How we can see means this is the simple count only. How many rows are there? That many number of VLF files. Okay, I think by default it will come 4. Let's see for another new database. Then we will conclude how many is coming for each and every database VLFs. Because we don't have the much data in this. So based on the data size, and it will be varied. Okay. So just a second. So this is the way we can able to identify and how many VLF files are there for each and every database. This will be vary from database to database, depends on the size. By default, it will come 4. So there will be an algorithm, it will be increases 2 to the power n, I think something 4, 8, 16 like that, it will be varied. So we don't want that much of in detail information. Just how we can able to see the VLF count means using DBCC log info is the command. So based on this we can able to see. So this is about the log file architecture, how many VLFs we can able to see. So again, if you see this one, each VLF file size is this one. In this VLF having many number of records. Okay, so that will be the different. So many number of records may be mapping to this one VLF. This VLF again one more. So many number of records is storing. How it is storing, we can't decide it. No one will give the clarity on this, how the data is storing in the database, what is the order, how it is storing. First page contains what records. For example, if you create the table, this table is goes and stored in which page and which location. In that table having 10 records. First record where it is stored, second record where it is stored, in which page. No, that never, no one, even Microsoft who developed the SQL server also, they don't know how it is storing. See how the process we know, but internally in which page which record is there, which page which record is there, that no one will do. That will be dynamically allocating and it is storing it, right? Okay, so that is fine. So next, come to the next point, how to create the database. You all aware of it. So once again, I am showing. So this is the new thing. We are coming into the all basics are almost done 95%. So the 5 more percentage is with respect to the agents, with respect to the MSDB. I will explain later. So basic core part of the 95% of basics are completed. So now we are going into the tomorrow advanced sessions. Okay. So in the basic session, so how to create the database, you all aware of it. So simply when you create any new database, it will asking that a database name and it will come. Okay. So two files. One is the data file and one is the log file. So that is the default thing. So when I create the database, it is asking, see the files are automatically created. If you observe here, the file location is ready. Once you give the name, for example, I am giving the name DB4, so it is ready. When I type there, automatically it is reflecting here. Okay, so this will be created automatically. The log file name and data file name is based on their database. Whatever the database you given, the same name is coming for data file. Underscore log will be added for your log file. That's it. And simply click OK. If you want to change, you can change the location. If you continue the default, you can keep it. Next one. See, I already told you in the beginning. Once again, I will tell you. So once you click this OK, it will be created database. So once database is created, if you go and verify on that location, one db4.mdf file is there, one db4 underscore log file.ldf, both are available. See, I will show simple information in the data how it is storing, right? So if it is a server, okay. So in the server having many databases. So take one database. Your one database having many file groups. This is the actual one database having many number of file groups. One database having many number of file groups. So in this one is the primary file group. This is the by default coming primary file group. Other than this, if you want, we can create it. Okay. So one file group contains many files. Those files are called, okay, mdf dot n. You can create ndf1 dot ndf2 like that. I am don't give the 1 2. I am telling you can create n number of ndf files. So this whole thing is called mdf architecture. So let's come to the same again ldf. The same way one database contains file groups having many files and many files having so log files. So here we can save it ldf files. So this is the log files. So in log files also how it is working internally. So the DB having VLFs. So we can't say the DB. We can simply say one LDF file. So this LDF file having multiple VLFs. VLF contains one VLF contains multiple log records, right? So here also same. MDF file contains one MDF file contains multiple pages. Each page contains actual records. So this is the thing. This whole thing both coming together, then it is the database. Right? So this both all MDF and LDF architecture. Okay. So these all combined together, we can call it as a one single database. These internally, these many things is happening. So I show you just now the log files and LDF files and actual records. So MDF files also already shown you. Okay, I will show once again. See, if we coming to here, if we created one database, right? Let's take any user-defined database which we created till now. We have created many databases. Let's take just now what we created DB4. So I'm taking this one. I will show you actually how the practically how it is thing what we discussed just now. Okay. if you open the properties, I told you right, there is a files and there is a file groups also there. By default, I told you just now one database having how many multiple number of file groups. Each file group having multiple files. Each file having your actual pages. Pages having data. This is the structure. So if you go and see here, by default one file group is created. If you want, you can go and see the file groups. One is the primary. This is default created. No need to create. If you want to create more file groups, just if you go here, there is a add file group and you can give your own name, whatever you want. For example, I am giving file group FG1. So this will be created and click OK. The file group will be created. Okay. So if that file group you want to use it or not, that will be your choice. Okay. So, but basically 99% we don't want to create the multiple file groups until unless if there will be a large volume of databases, then only we can create. Basically the primary file group which we have, that is enough. If you want, we can create it. If you want to create, this is the option. Okay. Or if you created, okay, I created. Okay. Are you going to use it? That is your choice. Are you going to use it or not? That is your choice. If you created it and you can't immediately use it, if you want, you can use it. Otherwise, you can keep it for later point of time. If you go to the file group here, okay. So it is mapping. So if it is mapping here, default, whatever you can click the default, it will select automatically. If you keep it this will come. If I click OK, so the primary file group would be the FG1. So why it is throwing error? Already primary is mapped it. So you can't change the file group when the database is in online. Okay, leave it as it is. So if you want, you can create it like this. Okay, and go to the files. If you see here, file type is rows data, log file for the log data. File group is only for primary database, not for primary database. Sorry, primary file group is only for MDF data files, not for LDF. So LDF key file groups so not required. It is directly storing into the log file. So that is the one option. One file group having multiple files means this is the files which we are creating. So if you want, you can create. Now I want to create one more NDF file. I told you, right? We can create multiple NDF files. Now I am creating one more file. Just go to the down here. There is a add button. Just click the add. It will come on dialog box. Okay, so I think 2 times clicked it, 2 files. Okay, now it is came. Now I am creating DB4. That is the logical file name, and I am giving db4 dot ndf. You should not give again mdf. You can give the multiple ndf files. Now I am clicking OK. So this file is automatically added. Okay, data file db4 could not be added the collection because already exists. Okay, this logical name we need to give the different name. Okay, db4_1. Okay, naming conflicts. Okay, now it will be added. NDF file is added to our database. If you go and see the physical location, it is available your file where C directory, program files, Microsoft SQL Server, your instance, default instance, MS SQL. So here data folder. So here what we created just now, we created DB4 database, right? This is the DB4, this is the DB4. Okay. So this is for DB4, this is the DB4, and this is the DB_4. This is the NDF file, this is the MDF file. If you want, you can see here SQL Server primary data file, we can call it as a MDF file. SQL Server database secondary data file, it is called as a NDF files. So they both are 99% similar, only the naming convention. So like that, if you want, you can create n number of NDF files. Got it right? So how we can create the file group, how we can create the files inside the database. So this is the fundamental basic structure when we create any database. But again, I am telling, is it mandatory to create the file groups and multiple files means? Not. If unless if your database is used, okay, so you are getting slowness, you are getting some performance problems, your data having trillions of records, database is 1 TB, 2 TB, like that, you need to getting any problem, then you can come on, there will be a technique, you can create multiple file groups. Instead of reading and writing in all everything in one disk, one file group means it will take some time. So to avoid that problem, you can create multiple file group means all groups are different, right? So parallelly writing into the different drives and loads. Here also while storing, you can keep it MDF file in one drive, NDF file in one drive, log file in one drive. You keep it like that. So all drives are different location. Your read rate operations in the disk is very much faster than in the single disk. So for that purpose only, if you want, we can create multiple data files or file groups. So this is about the fundamental basic structure. Okay. Next one, I told you, right, there will be the recovery model where we can change. Go to the options, and the first one is the collation. That is the default collation. Is it fixed or not? Just cross check and leave it. 99% while installing, whatever you can specify, that will be set it to automatically. When coming to the recovery model, three recovery models: full, bulk logged, simple. So by default is full, depends on the requirement. If you want, you can don't want to the lose any data, you can keep it the full. And you perform any kind of high availability like log shipping, database mirroring, always on replication. If you want to configure any dr mechanism, you need full database. You want point in time recovery, you need full database. Simple means your log file is automatically truncated. You don't want to the transaction log records, then you can choose the simple. But this is never recommended until unless you having any disk space issues or any production. Sometimes complications come. Until unless don't use the any other model, use the full only. This is the recovery model. Just checking. Compatibility level means the version which we install, that is there or not. Just in this way, so we can analyze the things. Okay. So this is about the complete MDF LDF architectures with practically how we can able to see certain level. Okay. So if you have any doubts, so in few seconds this session will be end. Okay.